Welcome to Season 2, Episode 1 of Jacked Up Being Frank. I'm your host, Jack Flano, here with my co-host, Frank Aranio, and we will be going through a lot today, covering all the MLB this season, the trade deadline, also the whole entire summer, which we missed. There'll be a new segment, a fantasy football segment as we get into football season, and there'll be an NFL recap. We'll also not review, preview. There'll be an NFL preview where we preview Week 1 and all the games that are going on this week and what each team has a chance to go for, what each team looks like after the offseason and their odds to win the Super Bowl and all stuff like that. Even the Michael Parsons trade, big thing that happened a few days ago. So a lot of big trades happened in the NFL. Discuss that. But first, what do you want? You want to start off with the Red Sox and
Well, there's so much to talk about with baseball, and
Yeah.
it's great to be back. So we have
Yeah.
season 2 of Jacked Up and Being Frank. We're heading into the fall. I think it's the best time of
Yeah.
year for sports. Baseball, you got the playoff race going on. We got 4 weeks left in the regular season. NFL starts on Thursday night with Eagles-Cowboys. You got the first Sunday coming up in 6 days. If you're into tennis, you got the U.S. Open, which is really big. So, again, I think this is the best time of year, and I think we're heading to probably the best month of the year for sports, which is October, when you got the baseball playoffs, you got the NFL in full swing, and then it's before you know it, hockey, basketball will be here. So we got a ton to talk about. We're so excited to be back. So let's get into it. So, Jack, I would say with baseball, we were talking before the show. There's so much to talk about. So what we're going to do is we'll do a recap of the summer. So our last show was about 2.5 months ago, our season finale, season 1. So now we're back. We're going to go through what's happened the last 2.5 months. And then, take a look into September and preview it and give our take on, who the contenders are, kind of do a power rankings and, how we see the rest of the baseball season unfolding. So, Jack, you said, do I want to go into the Red Sox to start? I'll give some thoughts on them. I'm pleasantly surprised where they are, given where they were at the last time we did a show. I remember mid-June, they were around 500. They were floating around 500 for pretty much the first 3 months of the season. They were really struggling for a while. They were 5 games under 500 early June. By mid-June, our last show of season 1, they got to around 500, and then they took off around July 4th. And then since then, they've played very well. They're going to be in the playoffs. There's no doubt about it. Division's going to be tough to win. They're 3.5 games back at Toronto right now, 4 in the loss column. So I think it's going to be tough to catch Toronto. I'm not going to totally rule it out. But the Red Sox, they're going to be in the playoffs, and regardless of whether they're a wild card or a division winner, I think that they have a legitimate chance in the American League. I think it's wide open, and I think baseball is wide open. I
do want to hear more about as we get into summer. Now we're kind of deep in the season. Maybe there's some AL, because we said it's wide open, but maybe it could have closed. I want to hear your definitely opinion about the whole AL, because you did. Yeah,
it's so wide open.
Even the Yankees, I thought they're not even they're still gonna win games because they're Yankees, but they're not even looking as good. You thought they were the front runners, and
Yeah, the Yankees got off to a great start. Their first 2 months of the season, they were really good. And then since then, they've been up and down. They're just still a good team. They're very flawed. Their fans are really down on their team. I don't know Yankee fans, really any of them, that are optimistic about the team. But they're in it. They're 15 games over 500. They just recently had a 7-game winning streak. They lost yesterday against the White Sox. Now they've been playing poor teams, but they're taking care of business, and that's a big thing with the regular season. You have to rack up wins against the bad teams, against the mediocre teams, particularly the bad teams. So they've done that recently. Look, I think the Yankees, again, are quite a flawed team. They have issues, I think, in in each area of the game. And there's pitching issues, there's lineup issues, there's defense issues. But the talent is there. And they do have Aaron Judge, and they do have Giancarlo Stanton, who, has been healthy since he came back. And, he's a big part of their lineup. Max Fried had struggled for a while. And then I know he had a very good outing against the Red Sox. They lost, but a very, very good outing against them recently. So they do have Max Fried in the rotation. So you look at the Yankees in the American League this year, despite their troubles and despite being up and down really the last 2.5 months or so, they're in it. I mean, they're 3 games behind Toronto.
Well, that's what we think about the AL. I feel like you can go on a roller coaster and still end up pretty high in that AL. Like, I know it stinks. They lost a lot of games to your Red Sox for their fans, of course. It stinks, but like they're still in the hunt. Like that.
There's
like
no
they
question.
were, they were in like a down period. Like when they lost those games to you guys and when they couldn't score at all. Like, I mean, I thought it was like they're like on death row as a team. Like they're not at all when you look at the thing. So I think that's the main thing about the AL.
You got to look at your competition. In another year in a better league, the Yankees probably wouldn't have much of a chance. And I would say the same thing about the Red Sox. And I'd say the same thing about all the contenders in the American League. I think the playoffs are pretty much set. I think the 6 teams that are in the postseason right now will be the postseason teams. And I think that's because of a lack of competition. Like, I don't think Kansas City is going to play their way into a spot. I don't think Cleveland. I don't think Texas. Like, I think the American League playoffs in terms of who the 6 teams are is set. Detroit's going to win the Central. The East is still open. Again, the Yankees are 3 back. The Red Sox are 3.5 back. I think Toronto will probably win the division. And then Houston and Seattle, they're separated by 2 games. Houston has the lead in the West. I think Houston will probably hold on there, but Seattle definitely is within striking distance.
So if the Blue Jays win the AL East, would the Red Sox and the Yankees both get wild cards even if they're in the same division? And then that would kick out the Royals, right?
Well, I mean, you have 3 wild cards that come out of each league. So right now, again, Detroit, Toronto, and Houston lead the divisions. And then the wild card, you have New York, Boston, and Seattle in that order. So right now you have 3 teams coming out of the American League East. You have 2 out of the West, and you have 1 out of the Central. And I think those are going to be the 6 teams. Texas has won 5 in a row, but they've been so up and down. Like, I thought Texas, after the trade deadline they had, that they would have definitely been the playoff team, but they really struggled for a while. They've caught fire now, so I guess you can't count them out. But I don't think any of the teams outside looking in are going to get in. I don't think Kansas City is. Cleveland, they're 4 back. Kansas City's 3 back. I think the 6 teams that are in right now will make it. I think the only team can make a case that's in right now that could miss out is Seattle, but I think Seattle's good enough. Where they're going to hold off the other teams and get into the postseason.
Yeah, I think New York, Boston, and then I think Seattle. I think they're a very good team. They have some very good players in Cal Raleigh. So they have
what a monster year. He has 50 home runs now.
He is a monster. But you look up and they're still not. It seems like they should be a team that's winning a lot more games but they got Suarez. They have, even though he's been decent, and they have Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez. So they have players.
Yeah, I think Seattle should be better than they are. And they're tough to believe in. Like, I took the bait on them for a couple of years. Like, they were really building something, and they got in the playoffs in 2022, and they showed something there. Then they didn't make it the last 2 years, and I thought they should have made it the last 2 years. And now this year, like, they really have to make the playoffs.
Who would they play in the play?
Well, if the playoffs started right now in the American League, Detroit and Toronto would get buys. They're the 1 and 2 seed. Houston is the 3 seed, so a division winner, but the 3rd best division winner has to play in a wild card round. So right now, Houston is the 3 seed. So the 3 seed plays the 6 seed, which is
So
the third
Boston
wild
versus
card.
Yankees for the
Yeah, so right now you would have the Yankees versus the Red Sox, and you would have the Astros
my prediction for that
versus the Mariners in the wild card round, which is best of 3, and the higher seed has home field for all 3
which
games.
is why I think this is why people say that the Mets could be facing the Phillies in the wild card.
The Mets right now would face the Dodgers because the Dodgers are actually
all right, dude.
In the 3rd spot. So, but the Dodgers are only a game behind the Phillies, so it could be Phillies Mets.
I'd rather be
in the wild card round.
And I think that if you're a Mets fan and had a season to go, you somehow
I think I'd definitely rather play the Phillies. You just swept the Phillies, beat the Phillies last year.
You could the Mets could be terrible. They somehow still sweep the Phillies. I mean, this is ridiculous. But I do think that, that number 1 starter, I think we talked about that, has really come back to haunt them. They're kind of going through a lot of they bring up a guy, Nolan McLean, who looks like he can be the guy, but you still need more, besides him, really, no one can go more than 5 innings. That's the thing here. And you got bullpen help, but that's I think there's a sad about how the Mets just their pitchers cannot pitch through a lot of innings.
Yeah.
Starters, their starters are really going through it. Sean Manaea came back from an injury. I mean, shouldn't have even came back. He's a good player, but you know what I mean. He's been not able to get through a lot of innings. I mean, 4.2, 5 innings. I'm talking about innings 4, 5, 5. This is he's giving up Kodai Senga can't don't let the ERA fool you with Kodai Senga. He has not had a good season at all. I mean, until he got injured, and then he got injured again, and whatever, and he just cannot get people out, and he's not pitching 4 games. Again, that's the same thing about same thing about my thing about all the pitchers. They cannot pitch deep in the game. When I mean deep in the game, I mean 6th, 7th inning.
Yeah, it's a real problem.
Even though Soto's heating up, I mean, you're getting it's just when the bats hit, the pitching cannot hit, and when the pitching hits, bats can't get. So it's never been a thing, even though, it's been rough pitching these last few days for the Mets. David Peterson got beat up. Not a player that usually has a great season. Only went 2 innings last game, but he's had a decent player. I'd rather see more Mets players go 6 innings.
It's been a major problem from them, and I mean it's been a really disappointing year for them. And they started so well. I mean, I know they were 45-24. It was some point in June. They're 28-40 since. I mean, it's been a tough summer for them. I mean, it's been really about 2.5. It's at least 2 months, but more like 2.5 months where they have really played poorly. Do you have hope for this team that they get it going? They could make a run? Because in baseball, you write a team off, and then all of a sudden they get hot at the right time in the playoffs.
Well, I think this offense
and they make a deep run. Do you still have hope that?
I'm not saying that this might be a little bit of a homer thing, but I feel like this offense could go deep, not like last year. Last year was a lot of Mark Vientos hit some home runs, but I think that there's a top heavy lineup, and I feel like they could all come to play, and I think the pitching's enough, but I have some hope. I do think if we play the Phillies, we know them well enough, and we understand the assignment, and they don't, of course, because they just keep losing to us because they don't understand.
Well, I wouldn't get that cocky because best of 3 series. It's going to be in Philadelphia. I don't. Yeah, the Mets are not coming back and winning the division. But the Phillies don't have Wheeler. I mean, very scary what happened with him with the blood clot. So I mean, well beyond sports, most important thing is he's going to be okay long term. But the baseball aspect of it, he's out for the season. I mean, that's a huge blow. I don't know how the Phillies get it done in the playoffs without him. So if you get the Phillies in the first round, like you probably do feel at least okay about it.
Well,
maybe even pretty good, like you're saying, because you've had the Phillies number.
Rather play them than the Dodgers.
Oh yeah. No, see, matchups can be really poor. Like if the Mets have to go to LA and play the Dodgers, I mean, look, it's best of 3. Anything can happen, but that is very unfavorable for the Mets. I don't think they win that series, but I guess the Phillies. I don't know if I'd pick them to beat the Phillies, but
you have Lindor, Soto, and P in the playoffs. Like I just think like the names alone, for me, in my opinion, can take you through. Like, I just feel like the offense is supposed to be good, so I feel like if they hit, the team could be running. Now, I just think it all comes down to the pitching.
Yeah,
and I think, and it all comes down to the bullpen, of course, too. I think that you could pull up. You do sometimes in the playoffs. When you get down in playoff time, you're gonna pull a pitcher like Clay. If he blows up like even a little bit in like the 4th inning, you're taking him out. But you need your bullpen to be good. And I think they bring in Ryan Helsley this offseason. I mean, not offseason, trade deadline. And he's been awful. Let's be honest. And they brought in guys that Gregory Soto's pretty good. That are supposed to be good, but they have really blown up. And Tyler Rogers been good, but I just think that the bullpen, if the bullpen hits and the hitting is good, I just have a feeling this team can go on a deep run. But I think it's all depending on the starting pitching. But I do think in the playoffs you do pull them, and you're supposed to it's more frequent to pull them.
Yeah, I mean you have a shorter leash with the starting pitchers, all the pitchers, but you have a shorter leash. I mean you have more off days built in. Not in the wild card round. You play 3 games in a row, but you're able to pull the starters during the regular season. Like you have to get length out of your starters. You're going to burn out your bullpen. But yeah, in the postseason, it's very different. Postseason is more bullpen heavy.
Which is why I do think
you line guys up in the bullpen. And again, once you get past the wild card round, there's more off days.
I think the names of Ryan Helsley hasn't had a good season at all when he came to the Mets. And you have Tyler Rogers and you have Gregory Soto. I think those names in itself, and you have Diaz in the back end, I think those names itself are really, and then you can move who knows if you move one of the young guys that are good and or one of the pitchers, and you bring a young guy up to pitch, whatever. You move somebody down like a Clay, whatever happens there. You have names in the bullpen, at least. And if Ryan Helsley can really, because he has a wicked fastball, but it's just he's not able to control anything. And so it's been hard for this Mets bullpen for kind of shockingly. It's been hard for these new guys, but I do think in a playoff series, I would give Ryan Helsley another shot. I think that he's a good to great bullpen arm. And you also have Tyler Rogers, Gregory Soto, so you have guys. And you also have the top end of the order. So I think that this team is, name-wise, this team should be able to do stuff.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if they're put against a wall where they're playing the Dodgers and what really? There's not, but if you're playing against the Phillies and I'm not saying I'm not trying to be overly cocky at all, but I am. I'm sorry if I am. I'm not really trying to be overly cocky.
No,
but
be honest.
I just feel rather play the Phillies.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just question. And you get the right matchups and this team going to run. I mean, if you face the Dodgers first round, all this stuff goes.
You talk about bullpens. I'm looking at this now. The Mets have the 14th best ERA, so the middle of the pack in terms of bullpen. The Phillies, the 23rd. Their bullpen has massive issues.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. We all talk about our teams in a vacuum. We just focus on our team. So it's like Yankee fans. Like I don't know a Yankee fan who's optimistic about the Yankees.
No.
But when I talk to Yankee fans, I'm
But
like,
look, like,
but you gotta put in the context of the competition. The
Well, I
Yankees are
think-
very flawed, but they're still pretty good. And I say the same thing about the Red Sox. And I think the Red Sox are a bit better than the Yankees, and they're 8-2 against them.
they're better.
But I think they're better, but not by a lot. I know that 8-2 is a big disparity. But with the Red Sox, like the Red Sox are pretty good, but they have glaring flaws. But putting it in perspective against the competition, they're right there. I mean, I think they have probably as good a chance as anybody in the American League to make a run in the postseason and win the pennant. Like, I think Detroit is the best team in the American League. I think Toronto's second best, but I don't think there's a big gap between those two teams and then everybody else. I think it's very wide open. And I think in the National League, too, the Dodgers are supposed to be a major juggernaut this year. They've had a lot of injuries. They've had some guys underperform. So they're still very good, but they're not that elite juggernaut. So the National League is very wide open, too. So the playoffs is going to be very wide open, very interesting, very dramatic. And I think any of the teams that get in could make a big run.
Like I think Soto, Lindor, and Alonso is like that. Those names could be like Soto's built for us. We saw what he did last year. I'm not saying that like well, last year's whatever.
Yeah, well, if you have Soto, Alonso, Lindor killing it in October, well then you're good.
That's what I'm trying to say.
You're gonna make a big run.
Yeah.
Like so,
if your pitching's awful, I mean,
and they're gonna get in. Like they are fortunate. There's really no competition to catch them. Like even if the Mets have a bad September, Cincinnati, San Francisco, Arizona, St. Louis, they're not catching the Mets.
No.
So the Mets are going to get in, you could say, by default. Now, it would be in their interest to play well in September and go into October, not necessarily with momentum, because that momentum could be stopped that first game, but just playing well and, feeling good about the team and showing that you can play well over the course of the next 4 weeks. But I mean, honestly, Jack, it's gonna come down to how the Mets play starting on September 30th, because that's when the playoffs start. I'm not saying September doesn't matter; it does, but the Mets are going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's my thing about it is that like yes, regular season the regular season doesn't matter, but like the Mets are going to be in the postseason. So if they're in the postseason, they have players that have notoriously been playoff players in Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor, and even Pete Alonso, man. I mean, that guy was great last postseason. I'm not saying notoriously, but like those are three players that can really has shown in October that they're in September and October that they're made for the challenge.
Yeah.
So if you get in, I think you get in, but for them, I think it's get in. But yeah, I think they play, try to play as well as you can, of course.
Well, I think September is very important because I think if they go and have
momentum,
September, like say they go 10-15 in September, they'd finish 83-79. I think you're making the playoffs. I don't think anybody's catching them. I mean, they could still then go get the Phillies in the wild card round, beat them like that. Like even they could still beat the Phillies. I think the Dodgers would be really tough. But you're going to a best-of-3 series. So if you play well in that best-of-3, your pitching does the job. Mendoza.
I do think all 3 games
pieces the pitching together. And then your big guys step up. It's just like you could go win a best-of-3 series. Now, here's the thing for the Mets, though. The expectations were so high at the beginning of the year. So, where are you at right now in terms of the expectation for the Mets? Like, you still saying, like, no, I'm not lowering the bar. This team was supposed to seriously compete for a World Series title. So, it's NLCS or major disappointment. Like, where are you at right now in terms of what the Mets need to do for the season not to be a failure or a disappointment?
No, they had to make a
major disappointment. Like, it's always disappointing you don't win the championship, but like, what do they have to do in order for the season not to be a failure or a major disappointment?
Make a run, because I know that, like, yes, it stinks. Like, the Mets are playing like trash. And being on like the second half, Summer played like trash. But my thing is, you don't bring in Juan Soto for. I mean, you bring him for a regular season because he's gonna get you wins and stuff like that. But you bring him for October, and what he brings you in the biggest stages, and what Lindor can bring in the biggest stages.
Yeah.
That's always been like the thought of me is that like October. Well, you don't want to be like in the last wild card spot. I mean, that stinks.
Yeah.
But like, you still have the guys, and you still have the guys in October, and I think that you still have them. I still expect them to make a run.
Yeah, and the third wild card has done well in the postseason. This is the fourth year of this format with 3 wild cards usually. So the first 3 years, 2022, the Phillies were the third wild card. They got to the World Series, and they were right there with Houston. They lost, but they were right there, 2 games to 1. 2023, Arizona was the third wild card in the National League too. They only won 84 games in the regular season. They got to the World Series. And then last year, the Tigers were the third wild card. They swept the Astros in the wild card round, and then they took Cleveland to 5 games. They're up 2 games to 1. So the third wild card there. Trying to think who the third. Oh, the Mets. The Mets were the third wild card. The Mets were the third wild card in the National League.
Yeah,
and they got to the NLCS. Yeah. So like, again, last year the third wild cards both did well, and the Mets did very well. And then 2 years before that, they did even better. So that third wild card position, like, you clearly could make a run from that position, and you could make a run from any position. That's the thing with the MLB postseason. Everybody really is going to have a chance, and it's really always been that way. But now it's just even more so. Like, there's more parity. There's no juggernaut this year. So it's like, as bad as the Mets have played,
they still have the guys.
They're not done. And as frustrated as Yankee fans are with their team, they're not done.
Sadly not done. It looks like they want to be done, but they aren't done at all. And I think that's just the thing. I think that's the thing about the league. And what I'm trying to say is that the Mets have a record that stinks, but I still have the same kind of expectation. Not the same. I don't think they're gonna win the World Series or all that thing. Like, I kind of was like, oh, this could be a Mets. Like, they can make the World Series. I don't think the Mets could really. Maybe they could.
I don't rule it out. I mean, Jackie, I'm like, just
like in their position.
If we look at the recent history, like the Arizona Diamondbacks won 84 games in 2023. And if I remember right, they got swept by the Astros to end the regular season. I remember this because, like, all right, writing them off, like, forget it. Arizona's not doing anything. And they went up in the World Series. Like, who? Nobody's picking Arizona. The Phillies the year before that, they struggled mightily towards the end of the year. It's like, Phillies ain't making a run. I mean, they were right there to win the World Series. I mean, they gave the Astros, who were a juggernaut that year, a great run in the World Series. So, the Mets right now, where they're at, I mean, they have played poorly for an extended period of time. But, that's 4 weeks left in the regular season. And I do think it is important how they play in September. Like, I think if they just continue struggling through September, it's going to be tough for them to make a run under those circumstances. But like, you can't totally rule it out, though.
Yeah.
But where they're at right now, like, their mindset has to be, it's imperative that we have a very good September, or a good September. We got to play good baseball going into the postseason.
Yeah, I do think they have to play very good baseball the whole entire rest of the season, especially for momentum, and especially because they played so bad. Like, in the summer, I feel like they have to rack up those wins, and it's gonna be hard. They play the Tigers in a series, and they play the Reds, who aren't really that hard, but like, they could take a game from them, and they just lost to see.
Well, the Red series can be important. Like, again, I don't think any of these other teams are catching the Mets, but the Reds are 4 games back in the Mets. I mean, if the Mets get swept by the Reds after, say at least losing the Detroit series, well, then all of a sudden things have changed. And all of a sudden, like, they could miss the playoffs. So actually, this week is a very important week. So they got Detroit now, and then they got Cincinnati after. Like, with Cincinnati, like, if they go win the series against Cincinnati, then they stave off Cincinnati. But the Mets have had plenty of these bad series. Like if the Mets go get swept by the Reds, then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, like they're in a fight for their lives to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I just don't think the Reds are that good. I don't think any of the teams chasing the Mets are that good. So I think the Mets by default will make the playoffs.
Yeah, the Reds are 4 games back from the Mets, and we'll see as the MLB postseason.
Yeah, I'm looking at who the Reds have. Who do the Reds have before the Mets? Yes, I mean that
The
Mets
Reds
Reds.
have the Blue Jays.
Where is that?
I'm just looking at my phone. They have the Blue Jays.
Where is that taking place?
Oh, in Cincy.
So Cincinnati's home this week. The Mets are on the road. I mean, look, let's just like come up with a worst case scenario for the Mets. Like, say if the Mets, let's say that the Reds gain a game before the series this weekend, so the 3 back in the Mets, they go sweep the Mets and they're tied. It's actually not impossible the way the Mets have played, but again, like the Mets should be able to do enough to make the playoffs.
Yes, they should.
And I think it's more of an indictment of the competition than it is saying anything positive about where the Mets are at. But they should be in.
Yeah, I think they should definitely be in. They have a tough series against the Detroit Tigers, so it's going to be tough for them. Hopefully the bats get going, and hopefully the pitching is good on the mound.
Yeah, I mean, you have Manaea versus Morton today. It's a 1:10 game. They have a bunch of afternoon games today. I think it's so ridiculous that everybody doesn't play on Labor Day. Labor Day, July 4th, and Memorial Day, everybody should play. That's how it used to be. They used to have double headers on those holidays. Now everybody doesn't play. It's just
now we have McLean on.
That's another topic, but that's always bothered me. So then
we have McLean on the set. We have McLean on the second, and then we have Clay Holmes on the third.
Yeah, it's be a tough series though. Detroit's very good. They're well on their way to winning their division. They have the 1 seed in the American League right now, but Toronto's a half game back of them. This would be a tough series for the Mets. So, I mean, like this, Jack, I mean, the end of this week, we could be talking differently about the Mets.
Yeah.
If they have a bad week, then all of a sudden they're in danger of missing the playoffs. But again, I repeat myself, I just don't think it's going to happen because I don't believe in the competition. I think the Mets are very fortunate that there's not a competitor or two behind them that, could really catch them.
Yeah. I think that they are lucky because the Reds were kind of making a threat for a little bit, and now they just are only 1 game over. But, they could definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if that could hurt the Mets, though, because last year the Mets were to fight for their lives for the playoffs. Like, you'd rather just comfortably have a spot because you want to be in. But last year the Mets really had a fight for a wild card spot. They were in a 3-team race with Atlanta and Arizona.
Yeah.
It came right down the wire to get in, and then they just kept going. So, I mean, maybe this year, like if they kind of coast in, but they don't have a good September, but because of the competition, they just easily get in. I mean, maybe that doesn't bode well for them. But I don't know. Like if Cincinnati again goes and sweeps them this weekend, and they're tied in the standings, or Cincinnati's 1 back. Then all of a sudden the pressure's on the Mets. And then all of a sudden from there, it could just unravel. And that's happened to teams. Like I remember the 2011 Red Sox. I mean, they collapsed in September. They went 7-20. They were comfortably in the playoffs, and then they missed the playoffs. And there's other examples of teams over the years that have done that too. But, I mean, look, Met fans, I know it's doom and gloom right now, but it's not totally over. Yankee fans, different situation. Yankees are 15 games over 500, and they did have a 7-game winning streak before losing yesterday. But the Yankees have the Astros now, so they, they'll have a tough test this week, 3 games against them. I believe 3 games. No, actually 4 games. 4-game series in Houston. So actually, this is a tough week for the Yankees. They then play Toronto at home for 3 games this upcoming weekend. So if the Yankees have eyes on the division, they're going to have to win that series against Toronto. So this is a big week for them.
Yeah.
I think the Yankees will be in the playoffs. I don't think they're in danger there, but they are still in the division race, like 3-team race there, including Boston as well. But this is a big week for them. We'll see. We'll see what they could do against two of the best teams in the American League. Any other thoughts on baseball?
No, not anything else. I think that the Mets are in a coasting spot where they could, and the Mets are in a spot where they had a terrible summer, but I think they just need to.
It was a bad summer.
Yeah,
man.
really
And again,
bad.
like our last show was 2.5 months ago. I mean, we got 28 and 40 in the last 68. See, like this is more for the long term, but the Mets have another season like this when the expectations are so high. Postseason would matter most. Look, they go on a run, they go to the NLCS or go to the World Series, somehow win the World Series, and it's like, who cares what you did in the regular season? But I think it's a massive disappointment for them to be where they're at right now. I mean, they're 45 and 24. They were on their way to being a 100-win team. So there's clearly still issues there. It's roster. I don't know if it's culture. I do think the Mets have changed their culture, but it's definitely disappointing where they are right now. But having said that, we got 4 weeks left in the regular season. It's going to be I don't know how exciting September is going to be. Again, I think the 12 teams that are currently in the playoffs will be there. We'll see if that changes. But, Jack, I think we're lined up postseason for it to be high drama, just very wide open. So once that comes, it's going to be very interesting to follow. So we will take a short break. Jack is then going to talk fantasy football. So each week of the NFL regular season, week 1 is coming up starting Thursday with Cowboys-Eagles. 18 weeks of regular season. Jack is going to do a weekly segment on fantasy football. All right, I'm going to step aside. He's going to take the reins on that. And then afterwards, we'll together talk about the NFL, preview week 1, preview the season, and maybe make some predictions as well. So we'll be back in a moment.
Hello, and let's get into this segment on the NFL and my fantasy. So my first round draft pick was, I think it's going to be a keeper league. It's going to be a keeper league, so I got Malik Neighbors as my keeper. I think he's going to do great this year, obviously. I think that last year what he did, if you look at his 2024 view, 11 points week 1, 29 points week 2, 28 points week 3, 24 points week 4. And then, I don't think he was hurt. And then he had 8 in Philly, 14 in Pittsburgh, 14 in Washington, 10 Carolina, 12 in Tampa Bay, 15, 14, 24, 13, 39 in Indianapolis. And he had 18 at Philadelphia. So my thing here is that he is upside. He is a big-time wide receiver. Last year showed flashes of it. I mean, was great, not just showing flashes. Like, he was just a great player. And this year it's the second year, and I think that the Giants bring in better QB play. I mean, last year he was averaging about 18 points with Tim Boyle and Daniel Jones as a quarterback. So I think that at least you give him the upgrade of a Russell Wilson. Not saying the Russell Wilson's the greatest QB in the world at all, but I think that he's going to get Malik Neighbors the ball. And that is why I want to keep him, and I'm going to keep him as much years as I possibly can, because he's young and he's the future of New York. So first pick in the draft for me officially, I mean, that was a keeper, but Ladd McConkey, I think he is another second-year receiver. He was a very electric rookie wide receiver for them. I don't want to say as not as electric as Neighbors, because he's more consistent than Neighbors in my opinion. I think he's going to give you about 15 a night, and I think that he's going to give you about 15 fantasy points every week. I think that he's just in that offense. John Harbaugh um, Jim Harbaugh loves him and what he can bring to the field. I think that they're a run heavy offense, but I think when they pass the ball, it's going to Ladd McConkey and Justin Herbert's second year with Ladd McConkey. The first year was great, but the second year again, same thing with Malik Neighbors. I do feel like there was some untapped potential there, and I think they're going to really tap that potential this season. And I could end up with two top 5 to 10 receivers in the league. Like, it could be very good. And then my third receiver, let's talk about receivers. Third one, my flex one is Zay Flowers. Now, this one was he fell to me kind of, and I do think this one is kind of where the two Malik Neighbors and Ladd McConkey are really safe picks. I think Zay Flowers is a really wild card. I mean, looking at his game log last year, he is a player that sometimes can give you just 4 points, and that's not what you want. But he has games where he's going to give you 22. He's going to give you 20. So game log 11, 22, 22, 5, 2, 20, 23, 4, 19, 32, 7, 11, 11, 10, 11, 16, 5, and 3. So he's a kind of up and down player. I feel like I'm able to draft a player like that because of my two receivers in Ladd McConkey and Malik Neighbors. I bring him. Bring him to the squad. He's going to be a player. I think this year, Derrick Henry, he might be winding down, so they might have to pass the ball more often. And they don't really like Lamar running the ball as often. So, they're either going to be going to Zay Flowers or Mark Andrews. So, in that offense, him being the number one target on an offense like that is impressive, and that's why I took him. My running backs, first one is Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker is going to be really good this season. I just feel like he is, and it's kind of a gut feeling because he's in a contract year. He needs to really show himself, and he's always been a very good running back, but he just needs to stay healthy. That's my biggest thing for him. Took his handcuff. That means took his backup in Zach Charbonnet. He's on my bench, just in case he gets hurt. So just that. But I think he's going to be very good this season. I think Kenneth Walker is one of the best running backs in football. DeAndre Swift, this is going to be as my running back too. This is going to be a kind of thing that you're going to see. I think the Chicago Bears offense is going to be really good this season with Ben Johnson, Lions offense coordinator becoming their head coach, and the way this run their offense. And I mean, if you don't forget, they ran the heck out of football in Detroit, and they did a lot with backs like David Montgomery. And I don't think Jahmyr Gibbs like DeAndre Swift at all. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is, of course, better, but David Montgomery and DeAndre Swift, the way they're kind of both similar in that way. I think that DeAndre Swift is going to have a big time season in offense. I think that I think the way Ben Johnson has created his offense is, I think, running back friendly. And he's if anything, DeAndre Swift is a consistent 12 to 13 points a game. My tight end, man, it was a very big tight end panic, so I ended up with Colson Loveland. I'm gonna try to tell you that he's good. My thing is that he's on a team he's on a team, the Bears, that, again, keep saying it, new offense. If he can be used like Sam Laporta, and I've heard great stuff from him and great stuff from Ben Johnson, what he said about him, and if he can be used like Sam Laporta, then we're gonna have a very good fantasy team. If we can get something like that, like late in the draft, and he can be used by Ben Johnson like Sam Laporta, that's very good value. But who knows? He's a rookie. Also, I wanted Tyler Warren. He got picked earlier, so we ended up with Colson Loveland, and I do think he's gonna have a very good rookie season. Steady hands. He's a very friendly target for Caleb Williams, and he's going to be used very well in that offense. They don't take somebody in the first round at number 10 for no reason, so they're going to be using Colson Loveland. And then my bench, whatever, Zach Charbonnet is my handcuff, and the bench really isn't that good, but And then, I forgot my quarterback, Kyler Murray. Just the way his upside and the way he can run the ball with his legs. Took him in the 6th round, so that was a good value for me. And the way it's keeper leagues go, so it's basically a 7th round pick. So, and the way keeper leagues are, that was great value. I think my team is pretty good. It's not projected to be very good, but I think it is very good. But I do think for me, it's gonna be first week. I'm gonna be like, chilling out. I'm not gonna be going crazy. I'm gonna just be letting my team run through, no trades, no nothing. And after that first week, seeing like what Lad McConkey does, seeing what Malik Neighbors does, and how he gets used by Russell Wilson and everything like that. After that, we will be making some moves. Maybe we'll be talking around the league. I do think maybe DeAndre Swift could be a player that's moved if he doesn't go insane like the way he doesn't play well. Same thing with Zay Flowers. Those 2 players could definitely be on the move, but right now, sitting there, I think I have a good team for a 14-man, 1 keeper, and my keeper's Malik Neighbors, and I think my team's very good. So that's gonna be a segment we will be popping in the first week, and seeing how my team does. For week 1, I'm projected to lose by 11 points, but that means nothing. In fantasy like that, means really nothing. So that's gonna do it. I'll see you in the next episode of episode of the fantasy talk.
And welcome back to Jacked Up and Being Frank, our opening episode of season 2. All right, so it's NFL time. We are getting ready for the regular season. Just went through training camp and the preseason. So it's time to play football for real. We got opening night, Thursday night, defending champions, Philadelphia Eagles, taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Just traded Micah Parsons. So it seems like Dallas pretty much left off where they did last year with all the chaos and turmoil there and their owner, Jerry Jones, and all that. But we're gonna preview the season. We're gonna make picks for week 1. Like I said earlier, it's always an exciting time of year as the NFL starts. We got baseball coming down the stretch. So this NFL season, like every year, there's a lot of headlines and a lot of things to talk about going into the year. But it's like it seems like this year, like things are like really big. You got this Eagles team coming back that like just absolutely crushed the Kansas City Chiefs in last year's Super Bowl, left no doubt. So the Eagles come back as a very strong defending champ with a very legitimate chance to repeat this season. Then you got the Chiefs coming back after that Super Bowl loss. Can they get back in it and go on their way to their 4th Super Bowl win during the Mahomes and Reed era? So there's a lot there. You got Travis Kelce and his engagement with Taylor Swift, which we will absolutely not talk about at all here. It's the last mention of it the entire season. So let's get into it. We'll start with picking games week 1, all right? And then we'll go into our overall season preview, make some playoff predictions, Super Bowl predictions, all right? But let's take a look week 1, and that'll give us a chance to pick games, talk about the teams, all right? So we'll do both of those things, both pick the games and then just talk a little bit about each team. So Thursday night, Dallas, Philadelphia. This game is in Philadelphia, Lincoln Financial Field. Eagles are a 7-point favorite. So, Jack, who do you like in this game? Who do you like to win? Who do you like also against the spread? What's your thoughts on Dallas and Philadelphia?
I think Dallas is gonna. I think this is a first. This might be a blowout here in Thursday night. I don't know. I think it could be. The Eagles are a team that are really good, and the Cowboys just lost Micah Parsons. Their team, their offense is pretty good, but I just feel like they're lacking something on the defensive end when they lose Micah Parsons. That team, and also they're playing the Eagles, so I just feel like they're gonna fight with. I think the Giants and them are gonna fight. I think they're gonna be 2 teams that are gonna be on the lower of the NFC East. And I think the Eagles are gonna be winning the NFC East.
Yeah, I think the NFC East could be no contest. I don't see anybody competing with Philly, even Washington. Washington's going to be an interesting team to talk about. What do they look like this next year after getting to the NFC Championship? But before we get to them, I mean, Philly's just a juggernaut.
I think -7 spread. I think
I'll take Philly covering the spread. I don't think Philly's going to take the foot off the gas. I think they're going to be all pumped up first week in their building, celebrating their championship. But I think they'll be locked in, ready to go. They're playing Dallas, the huge rivalry, bitter rivalry, lot of hate there. So Dallas with the Micah Parsons thing and just all the turmoil in their offseason, which they always have turmoil. And it's just not a well-run franchise. Jerry Jones and all that stuff, new coach. I like Philly to really take it to them. I like Philly, like 2-touchdown win here. I really do. I think they're going to come out strong opening night, make a statement that they're for real, that they're ready to go win another championship. So, give me Philly winning this thing by a couple scores, couple touchdowns.
Yeah. So, second game on Friday, Chiefs versus Chargers.
In Brazil.
Chiefs are -2.5. Chiefs are -2.5 in the spread. So, this is in Brazil, but I feel like this is going to be a very good game. This is be a good game because the Chiefs usually don't win by a lot of points. Like they're usually going to keep this stuff close.
Yeah.
But I think that I don't know. I think if you're I think an upset happens here.
I do too. The Chiefs have had opening week losses recently, not last year. They did a couple years ago. Remember they lost to the Lions. The Thursday Night Football games. I don't know how much that ties into this, but I can see LA winning this game. LA had 2 close games with Kansas City last year, so I think they're knocking on the door of beating them. So I kind of like the Chargers in this game. Opening week, like by no means losing this game will it derail the Chiefs by any means. I think the Chiefs are going to win the division. But I'll give the Chargers this game. Again, I think it'll be a close competitive game. They had 2 very close games last year. So just kind of on a hunch, Chargers over the Chiefs in week 1.
So Giants, Commanders. I'm gonna say Commanders, but yeah, I'm gonna say Commanders. I think the Commanders win this game.
They'll cover the spread 6.5.
Yeah, they're gonna win. I think they're gonna cover the spread. Or maybe I think then this is a close game. I have a hunch that this game is gonna be a 3-point game. Like the Commanders are gonna come down and kick a field goal to win. Like I just feel like the Giants against the Commanders, it's gonna be a lot about can the Giants put their stamp on the game, which is defensive, and just grind them out.
Yeah.
That is my thing about the Commanders. And I do think the Giants can do that. I think
the Giants are gonna be right in this game in week 1. I feel like with Washington, there's going to be a regression this year.
Yeah.
I think they made a great run last year and had a really good season. I just think they seem like a team prime for a regression. Not a bad season, but actually I was going through my playoff picks, and I left them out of the playoffs. And I've heard other people say this, like just, a regression year for them. Not that it's going to derail them long term, but I just think, to me, they're a team that's ripe to regress. Because the expectation is a lot higher this year to get in the NFC Championship. Their franchise had not been there in about 3 decades. So I will. I'm going to. You know what? Not many people can pick this. I'm going to pick an upset in week 1. I want it. Just kind of like I think the Giants are going to improve this year. Their schedule's really difficult.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
So I think their record is going to be bad. But I think it's going to be a year of improvement for the Giants, development of Jackson Dart, all their other young players. I think this year will be a step in the right direction for them. I mean, they very well may go 5-12, 6-11. They're probably going to be somewhere around there. But I feel like this is a game where you could see an opening week upset. I don't think it's outlandish.
I do too. I do think it's going to be opening. I do think it could be an opening week upset with the Giants, and it's because I don't think that the Commanders can really guard Malik Neighbors offensively, and that's the only way the Giants are really gonna score I think efficiently is with Malik Neighbors. I don't see the Commanders really mashing up with him, and I feel like the Commanders defense is also if the Giants' offense is not going to come to play, I feel like the Commanders' defense is gonna bail them out. I think the Commanders' defense, if the Giants' offense doesn't come to play, I feel like the Giants still can score 20 points.
Yeah.
Like, that's my thing. Like, I think that the Giants are going to score enough, and if they score enough, and their defense plays good enough, I think that they're definitely they could definitely have a chance. Because they score around 21 points, 24 points, their defense can hold them up to about 20. Then you win like a 24-20 game.
Yeah, the spread is only 6.5. I mean, it's not like it's gonna be some big upset. You're not looking at a double-digit spread. It's 6.5. I mean, it's a touch, almost a touchdown. And again, like I don't want to. Washington, to me, I just see them as a team this year that there's going to be a regression. Not a bad season. They'll be in the mix for the playoffs. I do not think they have any chance to knock off Philadelphia in the division. And again, I think it's going to be a year of progression for the Giants. I think that the record's not going to be good, but it's going to be a year of progression. Looking long term, I hope they keep Brian Dable if they have this season of progression. Don't just fire him because it's 5-12, 6-11. Like, don't expect to make the playoffs. The Giants are not making the playoffs. But this is a very important year. Develop their rookie quarterback. These are the young players, developing them, seeing that progress. But I see this as a ripe for upset week 1 game. And the Giants were right in it with Washington last year on the road in September.
Yeah.
They couldn't make the extra points, right? That was the game they missed the extra points and they lost because of it. So give me the Giants week 1 with an upset.
So I don't think that these games really we don't need to talk about these games.
I just quick picks. I mean, Tampa Bay and Atlanta. To me, Tampa Bay's going to win the division easily. Could they get picked off on the road week 1? Yeah, but I'll go with the Bucks. Why am I drawing a blank? The quarterback.
Bucks? Oh, Baker.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield. Yeah. I'll go with Tampa Bay there.
Money Mayfield. Carolina Panthers versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the Panthers have a good season this year. I think that Bryce Young, big development for him after the year of him getting benched and then coming back, having a good second round. Well, having a good second half of the season. He's got Ted McMillan. He's got a new rookie wide receiver out of Arizona, Ted McMillan. They could do some things this season. Not saying they're going to do some crazy stuff, but for the Panthers, that have always been a team that's kind of in the last few years have been pretty bad, they could really have some hope.
Yeah, I think it's a development year for them. I think they'll get better.
Yeah.
They made some strides last year after a brutal season 2 years ago. New coach, Dave Canales, his second year. So, I think they're on their way. They're not a playoff team. They're going to struggle, but it'll be a progression year for them. Jaguars, could they get back on track? They're in a weak division. That helps them. They're in any other division. They're not even close. But in that weak AFC South, new coach this year, Trevor Lawrence, does he get himself on track this year? I think it's possible. And in terms of this game, I guess I'll go with Jacksonville at home.
Yeah, I'll go with Jacksonville at home. Patriots, or no. I mean, Miami versus Indy. Daniel Jones led Indianapolis Colts versus Miami Dolphins. Had to say that.
Yeah.
It's an even. The Colts are favored by -1. But I don't
think the prospects for either team is too good this year. I go
Colts,
with Indianapolis at home week 1, but I don't really have much other reason for that. I think these are two.
Because Daniel Jones is the man. I'm just kidding.
Maybe there's a little incentive there for him to really prove himself.
Yeah.
With his
he has
new
Tyler
team.
Warren as a tight end, a rookie tight end who could be very good, and they have a decent team over there. I don't know. I think they win week 1.
Yeah, I'll take Indianapolis at home. I don't think either of these teams are doing much of anything this year, but I'll go with Indy at home. You got the Raiders and the Patriots in Foxborough.
Smith versus Drake May.
This is a very interesting week 1 matchup.
And you don't even know at the wide
Mike Vrabel, new coach for Patriots.
And
I think that's going to change the Patriots. I think
and also the Raiders don't their best wide receiver probably I don't even know who the best. I think it's because the Raiders. Because I think I don't know if the situation with Jacoby Myers, and that he wants they're kind of trade him or something. But I don't know if they're getting any value they want back. So for now, he's the wide receiver one, but I don't know if he's gonna play. So I'm gonna go Patriots.
Yeah, with Vrabel as a head coach, I think the Patriots are definitely going the right direction. They found their coach post Belichick now. He was a great player with the Patriots, won Super Bowls with them. So I think this is a year the Patriots take significant steps. I don't think they're a playoff team this year, but I think this will be a growth year for them. I think they'll be in the mix. I mean, they could be around 500, 8, 9, 9 and 8. I think this will be a year where they take steps. Drake May will take steps, and I think they'll get off to a good start at home in Foxborough. So I'll take the Patriots in this game.
So Pittsburgh Steelers at the New York Jets. I'm gonna say the Pittsburgh Steelers win this. I think that they go into East Rutherford, and I think they take the win here. I think that they. I don't know what you want to say about that.
Yeah, I agree. Look, the Jets, new coach, new GM,
New QB.
new QB.
Well, I mean, not new, like not new QB. Like he's not new, but like I mean, he's new.
Well, he's a new QB for
the
Jets.
Yeah.
Fields coming from Chicago. Look, Aaron Glenn, I think there's a lot of potential for him as a head coach. At first I wanted the Jets to hire an experienced head coach, but then I thought about more like, what, Aaron Glenn is a good fit, former Jet. He's very invested in the organization. He was a great coordinator, so he comes with a lot of credentials. So I kind of look at it as like if the Jets are gonna get this thing going the right direction, if anybody could do it, Aaron Glenn can. Like I think he has the potential to be that guy. It's tough to buy into the Jets overall, and it's tough to buy into them this year. Like there's talent on the roster. They gotta get the defense back on the right track after being very disappointing last year. If they're fight Salah, like it just really went the wrong direction defensively. I think the Jets are going to struggle this year. There's people saying they could be a surprise team, and talent-wise, look at the roster. There is that potential, but I still look at the quarterback position. I think they've regressed there. I would have kept Aaron Rodgers. I just, he played pretty well the second half of the year. He was coming off an Achilles injury.
At MetLife week 1.
Yeah, and he's there at MetLife. I think he's going to be really motivated. I think he's going to have a really good game week 1. I think he's out to prove something. Playing against the Jets on the road, I mean, he's going to get a hostile reception at MetLife Stadium. But I really like the Steelers in this game. I really like Rodgers to have a very good game. They got Mike Tomlin as their coach. He's always a factor, one of the best coaches in the league. So I don't think this game sets up well for the Jets. And, just the season overall, I don't expect the Jets to take some big league this year. I think it's going to be a struggle.
So next game we have is Cincy versus Cleveland. I think Cincy can take this win in Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland's a mess. You got Joe Burrow. I look at this as a good day for Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Double-digit win.
Cardinals versus Saints. I'm going to go Cardinals here. The Saints are
atrocious.
49ers, Seahawks.
Interesting game.
Interesting.
I like a bounce back year for the Niners. I'll take them in this first week. Seattle's got a new coach. Yeah, Niners to me are prime for a bounce back. I think they're going to be back in the playoffs. I think they'll be in contention for the division. So I think the Niners are coming back strong.
Tennessee at Denver. I'm going to go Denver. I think Denver is the pick here. Tennessee, new rookie QB, Cam Ward. Against that defense in Denver, I
think Denver dominates a mile high. I think they'll cover the spread too, -8. I think that'll be a double-digit.
Detroit at Green Bay. This is a big game for week 1.
This is a dynamite game, 4:25 on Sunday. I like the Packers. This year. They just got Micah Parsons, Jordan Love year 3. I believe in what the Packers do. Like they're just a solid organization, solid program. I think a big year for the Packers. I think the Lions will be good again. They had the massively disappointing playoff loss. So we'll see how they bounce back. They got to figure out. I know they had a lot of injuries on defense, but they lost both their coordinators. Let's see how that affects them this year. I don't know if it'll affect them that much, but I that could be a factor. They got to get their defense situated. I mean, they got blitzed by Washington in that playoff game. I don't think you could totally use injuries as an excuse. But I'm always a believer in Green Bay. Like I always pick them. They're solid, good organization. I think it's gonna be a big year for them.
So Houston Texans at Rams. I don't know why I'm feeling that CJ Stroud has a big time game and they win, but I don't know.
Houston's just one of those teams I don't believe in. They're in that weak division. It's not fair to them. Where the Rams are a team I do believe in. I believe in McVay and Stafford. I go Rams here. I just to me the two teams, the two organizations, just give me the Rams.
Baltimore at Buffalo. This is a really good game for week 1. I like Buffalo. I mean, here in week 1 in Highmark Stadium.
Buffalo's only a 1.5 favorite in this game at home. I like the Ravens in week 1. The Ravens have the revenge factor from that tightly contested playoff game in Buffalo last year. So just off of that, I don't know. I mean, it's such an even matchup.
Yeah.
You got Jackson, you got
Allen.
You got Josh Allen. I mean, you got the two dynamite quarterbacks, the MVPs. It just give me the Ravens. It's not cold weather up there in Buffalo this year. I know Baltimore plays a cold weather too later in the season, but just give me revenge factor. Baltimore in a tight game, field goal game.
Minnesota, Chicago. I'm going Chicago. New offense, new coach.
Give me Minnesota. Give me Sam Darnold in Minnesota. I don't know about Caleb Williams. New coach there. Minnesota. They had a great regular season. They win 14-3 in their wild card, and then the Rams bounced and they had an ugly playoff game, which is no surprise because Minnesota never does anything. But in terms of this game, I mean, I just think Rams. The Bears are a 1-point favorite, but give me the Vikings on the road.
So that's all the games this week, and it's gonna be an interesting season. I think that football is around the corner. It's always great. I think we could talk about the divisions in which our division.
Why don't we take a look in the divisions?
Yeah.
Let's go division by division, pick a winner.
Yeah, and then
so the AFC East, we in agreement Buffalo. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's no contest. There's
Yeah.
nobody who can compete with them in the
Yeah.
division. AFC North.
I mean, I'd say Baltimore, but I think it's not runaway like the AFC East, but I think it's Baltimore. I think if Cincy and Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow have a season where they have a very good regular season, I think that they could.
I think Cincinnati's bouncing back this year, making the playoffs, but I think that's a wild card.
Yeah,
I think this is a three-playoff team division.
Yeah,
I like Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh. I think Aaron Rodgers had a pretty good year, and Mike Tomlin, got to believe in him, believe in their program. Steelers are always there. I'm picking the Steelers to make it. I'm picking the Bengals.
They're not going to do anything, but I'll pick them. But I didn't know they're not going to do anything. But
the Ravens are loaded.
Yeah,
they're established. They got the MVP quarterback. We'll see if this is the year they could take the lead. But I think they're going to win the division.
So AFC South. I mean, this is
it's just garbage. It's trash. But I know Houston's the favorite, but
Daniel Jones and the Colts.
No, I just things happen in the NFL. It's not going to be total chalk.
Maybe Cam Ward has a season where maybe he's that guy. Maybe he comes in and he's
not Jacksonville. I mean,
I like Jacksonville.
I still think Trevor Lawrence to me could get his career back on track. They got a new coach. It's a bad division. Houston's the easy pick, but things happen in the NFL. It doesn't all go according to plan.
Well, I mean, also,
I'm not going to go with Tennessee rookie quarterback, but
Yeah,
I'm not going with
Jacksonville,
Daniel Jones. Like almost by process of elimination, give me Jacksonville. Like just it's a bad division.
I like Jacksonville too. I could definitely see like it could change stuff if that rookie quarterback in Cam Ward is really good. Then we could go. Then Tennessee could do something. But I think Jacksonville is a team. With Ryan Thomas, Travis Hunter, they have whatever.
How about the AFC West?
Now I think Kansas City wins it.
Yeah, it's just so tough to pick against them.
I think Broncos make the playoffs, of course. Not of course, but I think
I made my picks before. I'm leaving Denver out. Los Angeles Chargers will make it. I mean, Denver's good. I don't have them in. I got Buffalo.
Who do you have over them?
Like I got Buffalo, Baltimore, Kansas City, Jacksonville. We went through division winners, Chargers, and then I said I got 3 out of the AFC North. I got Pittsburgh and Cincinnati.
Chargers make it over the Broncos.
But the Broncos right in the mix. Like you can easily pick them. I'm going Chargers with Herbert, with Harbaugh, Cincinnati with Burrow, and then Pittsburgh with Rodgers. I think has got a pretty good year, and just they always play good defense. They're solid. I'm gonna always go with Pittsburgh pretty much to make the playoffs.
So NFC East. Let's Philly.
Yeah, I mean just a landslide.
NFC. I almost said Chicago because it was the first thing on the. It made me say NFC North.
What a division!
It is a very good. I think. I don't. Who's like a. I don't.
I say
Detroit
no.
A good regular season like.
Well, they were 15-2.
Yeah, but like, I just think they're like a.
I say no to Minnesota. I expect Minnesota to regress.
I think Detroit has the regular season they had last year. I think they, not like exactly it, but I think they're a regular season team. I think they're gonna, not like saying that they can't do anything in the playoffs. Doesn't mean anything, but I think they're gonna win. They win a lot of games in regular season. And the Packers gonna get in there as a wild card. It's nice to say, but like
I think they'll definitely both be in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I expect Minnesota to regress this year. I was surprised they went 14-3 last year, but then they were exposed to the playoffs. So I expect a regression from them. I'm leaving them out of the playoffs because I'm putting. I'm leaving Minnesota out of the playoffs because I'm putting San Francisco in the playoffs, who missed it last year. Very tough to pick the NFC North, but I'll go with Green Bay. And I don't know, just kind of like tough to repeat, especially in a division like this. Like Detroit won it last year, and it's a really strong division. It's probably the best division in the NFL. So neck and neck race, but give me Green Bay to win it, and the Detroit definitely as a wild card. I don't have them as the first wild card team.
Man, the South suck.
Yeah, Tampa Bay. I mean, they're solid.
Yeah, no, I mean like Baker Mayfield, Money Mayfield, and
the division's a joke. So like, there's nobody else. So
but I like their team though. I think their division's a joke.
They're good,
but I like their. I'm not saying like.
And they make noise in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I mean, they've won playoff games.
Like I think Baker and then Evans is always all reliable, and Chris Godwin if he gets healthy, I think that's good. They have 2 great wide, and they have Bucky Irving now as a running. So they have a good football. Now this is like not an indictment of them. They just have a very easy. That's why we're just like saying Tampa Bay, whatever. But like they have a great team. Yeah. They have a very good team. They're very solid. It's not like
and I expect them to have a better record this year too. Like I don't remember what they were. Were they 10-7 last year or something like that? They've won the division the last few years.
It's not like Houston, where they're the best team of like. Usually
Tampa Bay's legit good.
Tampa Bay's legit.
In a bad division.
Yeah.
AFC South is bad, but nobody's good.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to argue Houston's pretty good, but they're not nearly as good as Tampa Bay. I expect Tampa Bay this year to have a better regular season. I could see. I haven't looked at their schedule. But I can see them 11-12 wins. I think they're going to take a step up this year where it's not just, okay, you're 9-8, 10-7 in the division. I think 11-6, 12-5. I'll go 11-6. I think they have a good regular season, and I think they'll be a factor in the NFC playoffs. I don't think they're going to win the NFC, but I expect them to win a playoff
They're
game
really
again.
good. They're a really good football team, and they're always going to be, like, very good.
Yeah. Did they lose in the playoffs last year? Am I wrong about that? Did they lose to Washington?
Yeah, and
Yeah, maybe the year before they won a playoff game, or a couple years before that. Obviously, they won the Super Bowl with Tom Brady, but that was a little Tampa Bay Buccaneers playoffs. Yeah, they did lose to Washington. It was a close game.
yeah.
But anyway, like Tampa Bay, I think is going to be a factor. They're a good team. NFC West.
This could be San Fran. Like, if we really think San Fran, I think San Fran's going to get in, but they could win their division.
They could. I'm going to go with the Rams to win the division.
Yeah.
But I think San Francisco's coming back. They're too good.
I think Rams win the division. San Fran gets in the wild card.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then again, if you want to take a look at these teams, I'll give you my playoffs. Tell me what you would change. Buffalo, Baltimore, Kansas City, Jacksonville. We agreed on all that.
Yeah.
My wild card teams, the AFC, as I said, Chargers, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati. What would you change there, if anything? Would you put Denver in there?
Yeah, I'd put Denver in there.
Who are you taking out?
Chargers. Or wait, can I take? Where are they? I would take out the Chargers.
Okay.
That's just I don't know. Herbert always makes the playoffs though, and then just like sucks in the first round, and then just like everybody makes excuses for him. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they do get in, but
I feel like the
Knicks,
Herbert
yeah.
Harbaugh combination is enough to get to the playoffs. I'm not picking them to do anything in the playoffs, but I think they'll be back in the playoffs.
I think maybe
that division's good.
Yeah.
Kansas City's not going to have a cakewalk. I think they're going to win it. Like to me, like you can't pick against Kansas City. They're going to get it done. But that's a tough division now.
Yeah. In the NFC, Philly, Green Bay. I think that Green Bay is gonna be a wild card.
Yeah.
But whatever. I mean, that's
we both have Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
But what did you just say? Did you say San Francisco win the division or Los Angeles?
I said San Francisco can win the division, but I think that Los Angeles is gonna.
Yeah. So you got LA to win.
Yeah.
The NFC West. Okay. So we both got Philly, LA, Tampa Bay. We both have Green Bay and Detroit in the playoffs. You have Detroit, the division winner. I have Green Bay, the division winner. And then the other wild cards, I have.
Oh, you didn't have one.
I have San Francisco. I said Washington's going to regress. Did I say they're going to miss the playoffs?
Yeah, I think you did.
I did.
But I don't think they.
I picked them pre-show. Yeah, I think there's going to be some regression for them. And then I said they're going to miss the playoffs on the air, even though I do have my notes. But who? See, here's the thing, though. Who else who would make the playoffs over them? I mean, just going through the teams: Giants, no; Cowboys, no; Bears, no; Minnesota, maybe; Atlanta, no; Carolina, no; New Orleans, no; Arizona, no; Seattle, no. So the only team that I would potentially put over Washington that would bump them out would be Minnesota.
Yeah.
But I believe more in Washington with Daniels than I do Minnesota with Darnold.
Yeah.
So I when I say regress,
or Minnesota is JJ.
I'll
McCarthy. Yeah.
Oh, McCarthy.
Darnold's in Seattle.
Darnold's in Seattle. Okay. Thank you. I'm still stuck in last year. But anyway, still with Minnesota, even with McCarthy.
McCarthy's not even. I don't think that would. I think that would make your predictions like. I think they make you lower on them right now because of the rookie QB basically.
Yeah, forget about Minnesota.
Yeah,
Washington will make the playoffs. So let me restate what I was saying before. Washington will make.
Who do they play then?
Let's get to that in a moment. Washington will make the playoffs, but they're going to regress because they're not going to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
I would probably bounce them in the first round in these playoffs. How about a Super Bowl prediction?
I think Baltimore.
To win it? Who are they playing?
Baltimore, Green Bay.
with Baltimore winning.
Yeah.
I'll go Baltimore, Green Bay with Green Bay winning.
I just don't feel.
I mean, who knows? You come
Yeah,
February,
yeah,
like, who the
yeah.
heck knows in it? But I just
Either I just think. What can I say? This I don't think Green Bay wins the Super Bowl. Like I think that I think
well,
Baltimore
you got them
Buffalo.
there. I mean, if they're there, they could.
No,
win.
no. I think Baltimore Buffalo could beat them. I think either Baltimore or Buffalo gets in. I think they both beat them.
You think Baltimore is more prone? Do you think it's more likely Baltimore gets over the hump and gets the Super Bowl than Buffalo?
Yeah,
I do too.
their offense with
That Week 1
Henry.
game is huge. I mean, you took Buffalo, I took Baltimore. But even outside, I just Buffalo. I think Baltimore's a more complete team. Is that fair?
Yeah. With Zay Flowers as their wide receiver,
I think they're a better coach team.
I don't think
too.
I don't think that Buffalo's any wide receiver close to Zay Flowers at all. That's just the thing here. I think they're whatever Shakir can do this season as their wide receiver one again. Maybe Keon Coleman take a step up for them as a wide receiver too. But I just feel like that receiving room just still isn't like isn't Super Bowl worthy or isn't Super Bowl winning worthy at all.
Yeah, look, I mean,
and Mark Andrews is due for a good. I feel like I heard he was injured for the first half of the season. Not like this, but he could be a player for they have them on.
I mean, look, Buffalo's gonna be right there.
Yeah, Baltimore's
gonna be right there. Kansas City's gonna be right there. You know, it's the same teams pretty much. Cincinnati is going to be in the mix this year. I don't think
Philly's going to be in the NFC also.
Yeah, well, Philadelphia in the NFC, but just the AFC right now, like Cincinnati's going to be in the mix. I don't think they're as good as Buffalo, Baltimore, Kansas City, but they'll be in the mix. Joe Burrow is just an absolute stud. So he gives him a chance. But I think one of those two teams, Baltimore, Buffalo, it's going to be their year to get there. I trust Baltimore more to get there. So we both got Baltimore in the Super Bowl. We both got Green Bay in the Super Bowl. Look, Philadelphia could easily be there. It's tough to get back, so I'm not going to pick them again. They definitely could be there.
They definitely have a team to do it again, though.
Oh yeah, well for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody's picking them to repeat, I mean that's a
I'm not gonna.
But I'm going to go Baltimore and Green Bay. You're going Baltimore and Green Bay. You're taking Baltimore. I'm taking Green Bay. Like, I mean, picking who's going to win the game, man. I
just trust Lamar over. I don't know. Some people don't trust Lamar, but I trust Lamar over Jordan Love in a big time game, and I trust Derrick Henry. I feel like it's his time. Like if he gets to that point, I feel like he's motivated to get that win and etch himself in running back history. Like,
yeah. Well,
that's
it's again. You're picking a Super Bowl. Over 5 months from now. I mean, we both identify the same matchup.
Yeah,
and that'll probably be a pretty popular matchup. You're gonna get a lot of Buffalo. I wonder how many people are gonna pick Kansas City this year. Like, how many people are gonna pick them to go 4 years in a row? That's so tough to do. I mean, they absolutely can, and they can get back on top and win. But man, they go 4 years in a row. But again, those three teams in the AFC, they're juggernauts.
Even Cincinnati,
all three of them are.
Even I know Cincinnati is not a juggernaut, but they could be good. Like they have.
Well, I think they suffer because they got those other three teams in their conference.
Yeah.
But they're very good. If Cincinnati was in the Super Bowl, would I be shocked? Absolutely not.
Because Joe Burrow's just like there's something about him where like he's just like so calm under pressure. Like he's built for the moment. I feel like, or some Josh Allen, like Lamar, like I trust Joe Burrow like head to head, but I don't trust his team more. If you get what I'm saying, like the defense is kind of like an issue. It's not the best in the world. Definitely when it comes down to like playoff time, which they will be in the playoffs, and they probably will get a little bit deep in the playoffs too. So once they really get there, I feel like the defense is gonna have to show up, and I don't think they have good enough.
Yeah, and you get those three teams in the AFC. They're loaded, and it's really good to watch. It's really good for the NFL. I mean, you have real storylines there. the Buffalo storyline, the Baltimore storyline, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, those teams trying to get over the hump. And then Kansas City, the dynasty they are, like, and then Cincinnati, there is a
Philly
team
trying to
chasing.
wrong.
Yeah,
And-
Philly in the NFC trying to repeat.
And
You got Detroit like knocking on the door. They're really good. Green Bay's loaded up. What's Washington going to be this year? Like, I think this is going to be a fascinating year for the NFL. I think the storylines are great.
yeah, because Washington can just like take a step up from that and make the like that. I don't think they're gonna do it, but like there's been times where like teams have taken stepped up from like
I think it's just gonna be so tough for them. They're not going to win the division. Detroit. Now they did beat Detroit last year. So yeah, Washington's interesting. I mean, again, like I don't want to disrespect them. I just don't think they're as good as a few of those other teams. I don't think they're as good as Philly.
Yeah.
I don't think they're as good as Detroit, despite
That's fair.
them really taking it to Detroit in the playoffs. Like you could play really well one day and take it to somebody. But I don't think Washington's better than Detroit. And then, Green Bay, I think they're in line for a really solid season too. And then San Francisco coming back strong. The Rams will be there. So we're lined up for a really interesting NFL season. But the New York teams, neither of them are going to be anywhere close to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think the Giants, it's going to be a year of progress, as I was saying before.
Yeah.
You want to do one last thing before we sign off? Why don't we do this? We'll do it quickly. Let's go through the schedule for the Giants and the Jets. We'll make picks. See what we think their record's going to be. This will be the last thing we do for our first episode of the year. So Giants for week 1, I got them with the upset.
I get them splitting, and I don't know. I think they're gonna win at home though. I think they lose this one against Washington.
Okay.
0-1, 1-1. I think they beat Dallas.
At Dallas.
I don't know. I think
you know what I'll do? I'll go. So you got one. I'll go 1-1 between the first two. I'm not going to pick them to win both. I'll go 1-1.
Let's go 1-1. I think that,
yeah, we can do that. So 1-1. I think it's fair. They'll split those two. Kansas City, forget about it.
Yeah.
1-2. Los Angeles, no.
They could, but like
could.
1-3.
1-3. At New Orleans, 2-3.
Yeah.
Philly, 2-4. Denver, 2-5. Schedule's loaded.
2-6.
Philly, 2-6. San Francisco, 2-7.
Yeah.
I'll go
at MetLife. Ooh, they get split.
Split the Niners and Bears.
Yes.
So that's 3-7. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, 3-7. Packers at home. 3-8. Man, this schedule's brutal. At the Lions.
Like you would think that like we're Philly.
3-9.
Yeah.
At the Patriots. Give them a win.
Yeah.
There's gonna be I don't know. Maybe not. Nah. 3-10. Washington at home.
Oh, well, did we say that? Well, that's because we made the deal to split. So 3-11, I guess.
11. Minnesota. I give them a win at home. 4-11.
5-11.
At the Raiders. Throw them a win. 5-11.
And let's give against
and
Dallas.
6-11. I think 6-11 rough estimate.
Okay.
But boy, that schedule, Jack, is freaking ridiculous. I mean, that's got to be like the toughest schedule I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Where's the break in that schedule? I mean, that schedule is absolutely loaded. If they go 6-11, they have a very good year.
Like, what do you think the equivalent of that is? And like,
the Giants could very well be like they could very well go 3-14, 4-13. They could.
And like, no one would really like. Man, the Giants fans would care because it's New York market. But like, you would walk up and be like, you know what, par for the course. Like, I'm not gonna go crazy.
Yeah, but they can't. But Dable's gonna get fired. If they do that. He's. But see, like if they go 6-11,
they won't.
I hope they don't fire him. I hope they look at that's progress.
If they win a game against Washington, that would be huge. They win a huge game against Washington.
I think 6-11 is optimistic as we're looking at that schedule. But I do think the Giants are going to make progress. I think Dable developed Dart. They got a bunch of young guys. I think it's going to be a year in the right direction for them. Is 6-11 optimistic? Probably, but I'm gonna pick it. I'm going high on the Giants.
I think the team is. I think it's crazy. I think the team's good. I don't because the defense is great and the offense is so.
Like some of those games, like they can't go to New England and beat the Patriots. The Patriots are not that good. They're okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they could win. At the Bears they could win. They could beat Dallas either place. So with the Giants again, tough schedule, but a year of progress.
So we're saying they start.
So then the Jets
0-2.
schedule, loss to the Steelers, loss to the Bills, and those 2 home games. Like the Jets, they have to win one of those first 2 games. You're starting.
Really?
Well, you're starting with 2 home games. Like I know Buffalo.
So you want to say 1-1? You want to?
No, I'm saying 0-2. But I'm saying they have to win one of those.
So
games.
our prediction's 0-2, but they have to win it.
Yeah.
But
if they want to be in the mix. At the Bucks, man, they starting the season 0-3. Yeah, I'm going 0-3.
Okay, 1-1.
I'll give them a win at the Dolphins, 1-3. I'll give them a win home against the Cowboys, 2-3.
Oh, it's so weird. It's in MetLife. It's so weird.
This one is in. Yeah, it's not home. Loss to the Broncos. They're going somewhere overseas.
Where would that be? 2-5.
2-4. Panthers at home. I'll give them a win, 3-4.
Yeah.
At the Bengals, 3-5. Then the bye week. Home against the Browns, 4-5. At the Patriots, 4-6.
Okay.
At the Ravens, 4-7. Atlanta at home, 5-7.
Yeah.
Miami at home, 6-7. At Jacksonville, 6-8.
I don't think they go on that win streak, huh?
No, you're right. The win streak.
Yeah.
7-8.
Yeah.
At New Orleans, Patriots at home. Man, I give them a win at the.
They got to get one.
And then at Buffalo, 8-9. Yeah, I mean, look, I think that was pretty.
I kind of like. If I'm gonna, I do think they don't. Like a game, they might. I don't think they go on their win streak though. I think they might lose a game here. Like Atlanta.
See with the Jets, right. Yeah.
They could lose to Atlanta. But I don't think you should predict it though. I think that like
you know what I think with the Jets, they're going to lose a game like Atlanta.
Yeah,
they're going to lose a game like Miami at home, something like that. Maybe even a couple of those games, but then they'll go to Jacksonville and win. Not that Jacksonville's that good, but we picked them to lose that game. But you'll see that, or maybe they beat Pittsburgh week 1. Like it's going to balance out there, So it's like even if you pick them to beat Pittsburgh, for instance, I'm then going to say, well, you know what? They're going to go lay an egg against Atlanta. Yeah. So it balances all out. 8-9. I'm not confident in that. I'm more 7-10.
Yes, definitely.
But you know what, though? I'm going to do this. I'm going to give them 8-9.
Yeah.
There is talent on the roster. I think Aaron Glenn will get the most out of the team year 1. Quarterback position, they just don't have it. We'll see what Fields. Like Fields has talent. I just don't think he's the guy. I'd rather they kept Rodgers. Because here's the thing with the Jets is why I would have kept Rodgers. The Jets have the talent on both sides of the football. I would have went one more year with him and just really try to go after the playoffs. I just don't think with Justin Fields they're going to do that.
The playoffs really
for the Jets, I think it's a huge thing. They haven't been there since 2010. Yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. Rodgers not on the team. He's on Pittsburgh. I'll say 8-9, but if I get a lean either 7-10 or lean 9-8, I'm leaning towards 7-10.
Yeah.
So I think 8-9 is a somewhat optimistic pick for the Jets. Right. So no playoffs for the New York teams this year.
Okay. So that's going to do it for this episode of Jacked Up Being Frank. This season 2, episode 1. So I can't wait for season 2 to start, but I mean for season 2 to get it going.
Yeah.
That's going to do it. Have a nice day and subscribe. Peace out.